Welcome to this lecture on how to bring UI to the next level with SAP UI5 and UI5 Web Components. My name is Oliver Grepp, and today I'm joined by Peter and Stefan.
Yeah, welcome also from my side. I'm really looking forward to show you the latest stuff happening in SAP UI5 today.
Hi everybody, my name is Stefan Beck. We have a lot to show today. Let's start. Back to you, Oliver.
Thank you, Stefan. UI5 is everywhere, as we will see in this session. But the home of all capabilities to build applications is SAP Business Technology Platform. It's a business-centric platform for the intelligent enterprise, providing many capabilities. In the area of artificial intelligence, in data and analytics, in integration to integrate on-prem and cloud applications in a secure way, in automation, and in application development. We see that application development is becoming more and more relevant, with many companies accelerating their business transformation. SAP BTP offers technologies and tools to build applications. For example, for citizen developers, working with low-code, no-code tools. For professional developers, working with code. For business users who want to access applications, as well as for DevOps engineers. Now, let's go more into details. SAP BTP provides tools for a comprehensive development offering. In the center of this, we have SAP Business Application Studio, targeting developers, offering capabilities ranging from pro-code tools, like textual editors or command line interface, to productivity tools, like visual tools, templates, or wizards. From bottom to top in this picture, we can see runtime and storage, for example, SAP HANA. We see backend services, for example, the Cloud Application Programming Model CAP. And we see the UI technology layer, where are highlighted SAP UI5, SAP Fiori Elements, the pattern-based way of generating UI, and web components to work with any technology stack. Just to recap, what is SAP UI5? SAP UI5 is a web framework for creating cross-platform enterprise-grade applications. Cross-platform means it's available on many platforms and solutions. An enterprise-grade is what you expect from working in an SAP context. You expect qualities like security or accessibility. Some capabilities are very obvious, for example, consistency in user experience. Some capabilities are necessary when starting a development project, for example, extension options to extend SAP standard, or flexible development tools. And some capabilities are not so obvious. The fact that we can bring innovations to the UI because we reuse many components. We're explaining this later in the session. But how do we come up with new innovations? Do we sit in our office and think? Yes, we do. But also, we have many stakeholders. Looking at the usage of UI5, we see not only SAP S/4HANA and BTP, but many other solutions in SAP and non-SAP. Many customers, many users using UI5 on a daily basis. They all come with feedback, requirements, ideas, and UI5's innovations are based on this. Additionally, we are closely working with SAP's designers to come up with, for example, the new Horizon theme of SAP Fiori. We work with partners on partner solutions. And we work with the open source community, which contributes great new innovations. One example of this is the UI5 tooling. And this is where I want to hand over to Peter.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. We're talking about open source. The UI5 community and SAP are working together to shape a modern and cohesive development experience for SAP UI5. Looking at the different phases of the development lifecycle, starting with the creation phase, Easy UI5 is the tool of choice to intuitively get started with SAP UI5 freestyle development. Here, the community and SAP are working together to create templates and finally to co-author them and to provide you the best practices from both worlds. In the development phase, the UI5 tooling plays the major role as an integration platform of custom extensions. Yeah, the community and SAP provide here together also different extensions to improve the development experience, like having a live reload feature or the TypeScript transpilation happening embedded. In the testing phase, we have VDI5 as the open source end-to-end testing framework, also started and developed and contributed by the UI5 community. As this field is quite big, there have been also a project started, this bestofui5.org, as the community platform where you can look up all these extensions, templates, and so on, and also register your own extensions to look them up quickly. Finally, talk too much now. I want to give you a demonstration how you easily get started with SAP UI5 Freestyle development in SAP Business Application Studio.
Let me show you how you can benefit from the templates provided by SAP and the UI5 community via EasyUI5 in Business Application Studio. To demonstrate it, I created a dev space for SAP Fiori development. This dev space is pretty fresh and you need to prepare it up front for EasyUI5. So in order to get started, open the template wizard. And in the template wizard, you can select the generator. It comes as pre-installed generators, but EasyUI5 isn't there. So our first step is to explore and install the EasyUI5 generator. So when searching for the generator EasyUI5, I find the version 3.5.1, which I install now. After the installation has been completed, we can go back to the Template Wizard tab. In the Template Wizard tab, the EasyUI5 is now visible, so we can use it. So let's start. When the EasyUI5 generator is being started, it first asks you to select one of its sub-generators, like libraries, like TypeScript applications, like normal application or TypeScript libraries, which are templates developed by the community, and you can use them to create and kickstart your development. Let's use the TypeScript application. When a TypeScript application subgenerator is being executed, we see a list of questions, the application name, the namespace, which framework OpenUI5 or SAP UI5 to be used, the version, author, and whether I want to create a subdirectory and init with Git already. We keep it as is and run it. After the project has been generated, the template wizard closes and we can now open the new project. We have to scroll down into the projects folders and there we see our new generated project, which we open now. So when looking in this new project, this is a UI5 application project. It comes with a package JSON, it uses the UI5 tooling. It has the UI5 YAML inside, which is the indicator for that. And in addition, it also comes with a tsconfig, which indicates that this is a TypeScript project. And when looking into the source code, we see that the component TS is a TypeScript file describing the component controller. And the controllers for the views are also written in TypeScript. Only the views itself keep and stay in the well-known XML format. And now, with that, as it's being created, let's start the project to see and verify that it's working. The first time you start, it also downloads and installs the necessary dependencies, the libraries which are missing, and then it starts the application. Finally, when the application is running, we can just verify that it's working by clicking the Say Hello button and the Hello World appears, so everything is fully functional. And now it's time for you to get started with your development experience in TypeScript.
In the demo, I showed the creation of a UI5 application with TypeScript. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, adding types to it. We know with that then the types and the API definitions so that we can provide in the tools a proper code completion. And this is the benefit. Besides having also error messages via your code when you assign wrong values to variables, or even get in-place API references showing documentation about the functions you are using. Finally, TypeScript helps you to have a better refactoring and maintenance support for your code. Interested? Then get started and check out the tutorial app development in UI5 and TypeScript, or read the blog post Getting Started with TypeScript for UI5. Last but not least, I would like to mention TypeScript for SAP UI5 as a professional application development, because you can use modern JavaScript language features for SAP UI5. They are supported in Business Application Studio and Visual Studio Code. What happens with this modern code is, during the development phase, with help of the tooling, it's being transpiled into classic SAP UI5 runtime code, which runs on existing runtimes without any modification. And the best about it is also, it's your decision. TypeScript is an optional layer. With that, I would like to hand over to Stefan for the next topics.
Thanks, Peter. I'm happy to talk about another major improvement of SAP UI5 development, the flexible programming model. It brings together UI5 freestyle and Fiori elements V4 in a seamless manner. It's no longer an easy or decision. You can use SAP Fiori elements and start on the left-hand side with the standard floor plans, enhance them with custom artifacts down to custom layouts. If you start on the right-hand side with SAP UI5 freestyle, you can start with custom layouts, use standard building blocks up to elements of more complex floor plans. So this is now a really cool continuum, but let's directly look into the demo.
Okay, let me show to you how easy you can make use of the building blocks in custom pages. We are again the Business Application Studio, and we create a new project with a template. We select the SAP Fiori application, and from the floor plans of the Fiori application, we select the flexible programming model. As a data source, we select the data service, and we use this service here. And from the entities of the service, I want to display the travel. From project attributes, we keep as is and finish the creation of the project. Once the project creation is finished, we can open the workspace with the open folder. In this workspace, we see this is a regular UI5 application, and it comes with some special extensions, the custom pages here. And here you see also that these custom pages are regular XML views and controllers. But now there is a nice view, the application model, and we switch to that because it brings the perspective into the right shape to display the custom pages directly. So we open the travel custom page, and what we're going to do together now is to add a filter bar, a table, and a button for special functions. Good. Let's use the code completion and enter filter bar. So here we have the FE macros filter bar. We add it, and then we can use the tooltip to extract the information like ID and meta path from the tooltip. And the same we do for the table. Here we use the FE macros table. And also here from the tooltip, we extract the information we need, the meta path and the ID. Next to that, I want to display the button, a sub M button, and it should just display the text special functions. That's it. And now we can preview our application with the Fiori Tools preview. See how quickly we created an application with the building blocks, which already has a filter bar where the values are being displayed and also the table below. And we have also next to it the special function button. So it shows that you can really mix up the content from Freestyle UI5 and Fiori elements seamlessly, and this is how it melds together.
Thanks, Peter, for the demo. Let's come to the next topic. Many people see SAP UI5 as the Swiss Army knife for enterprise web application. You have everything at your fingertips. It's very efficient and it's robust and proven. However, there's also critics saying that if you just need a knife, it's a bit too much. And basically, we have heard you, and we have worked on the modularization and broken up SAP UI5 into separate reusable bricks. We now have many reusable modules with clear API contracts and reduced dependencies. With that, we are future ready and open for innovations. Why? It's now quite easy to exchange or enhance single bricks into that continuum. And there's now one really cool innovation brick with a huge reuse potential called Web Components. Let's look into that specific brick for a second. What are Web Components? Web Components is a W3C standard that deals with custom HTML elements. It allows you to define own HTML text that are understood by the browser. On the left-hand side, you basically see a native HTML and the result below. On the right-hand side now, you see the very same HTML more or less using SAP UI5 Web Components with the result below. And if you look into the result below, it now looks very much like an UI5 Fiori application. And it does not only look like it, it behaves like it. It has enterprise qualities and product standards. And if you compare the markup, it's only slightly different. It's some prefixes mainly that you add, and especially the API is very much the same. And with that, it's very much reusable with all web frameworks that are around. And it does not only work with single and small controls, it also works with more complex topics like a calendar control. You can see it here. The Web Component standard allows us to encapsulate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it remains the same. We have a very easy API contract in the HTML, and also the DOM APIs work as we are used to. This gives us a huge reuse opportunity inside UI5 and also beyond. Let's start inside UI5. Now basically can reassemble the army knife if you liked it. However, you can also build slightly different topics. We are now flexible with a number of features. We can modernize independently. And with that flexibility, we opened a significant, bigger, addressable use case market, so to speak, for SAP UI5. Now let's look into the beyond SAP UI5. How do Web Components help there? Let's start in the center. Let me quickly introduce the term SAP Web Components. SAP Web Components is the umbrella term for the topics that happen around Web Components at SAP. These are the UI5 Web Components that our team builds, the foundation, plus also inner source contributions by other LOBs from SAP. Altogether, we offer that to you with an interesting support contract. Basically, we also use it internally already in fundamental NGX and Angular version, use it with React, and as you have seen it already, we also use it with SAP UI5 and Fiori elements. Let's move forward. Basically, with SAP Web Components, we help, so to speak, also our competitors and competing frameworks. And now I want to present you again a unique selling opportunity of SAP UI5. So with web applications and enterprise web application, UI5 is still the best choice because you also have SAP UI flexibility. SAP UI5 flexibility allows you and all your end users to create and also enjoy a tailored user experience. We give you intuitive tooling that you can adjust standard applications. We have a version for end users, key users, and also developers. But that you get the best impression when we show you the demo for the key user scenario.
Let's see SAP UI5 flexibility in action. We see the Manage Cost Center application, and I will go to a variant of it in a second. We will see that we have different filter parameters, we have less filter fields, and we have added a button into the table area. Now I'm going to the variant, and basically you can see that all the changes that are announced, including the button, are available. However, the variant is not yet ready. Let me continue. I go into the object page section. I now activate the adaptation mode. And my employees told me that the controlling area does not really make sense here because it is part of my variant already. So the name of the cost center is much more important that I see it quickly, and also the description should be on a better position. And the additional ask is that the people want to see the country and the region of the cost center, because this is an important information and I can find this information in my data service and quickly add a field. As I now know the country, let me quickly go to the navigation mode and go to the address. You can basically see that in our company only country region is important, and with that I can then also say, as this field is available, let's really remove the address and then save some space. Now we have the application as we wanted, and to review what we did, we can now activate the visualization. We basically see here that we have removed the address, that we moved around the name and the description, and basically that the country and the region was added. So maybe right now you know it, but if you look back in a few months, this visualization will really help to understand what you have done. Having this said, you now can activate the application so everybody will see it now. And once this is done, it's also possible to use the save as, to save it as a different variant, or to do specific role assignments to a group of people. That's basically what I would like to show today. Back to the slides.
You now have seen the power of key user adaptations. The code-based extension using adaptation project is even more powerful. Comes at slightly higher costs, I have to admit, but only slightly costs. And going forward, some of you might have already used extension projects in SAP Web ID. The future is clearly adaptation projects in SAP Business Application Studio. It can do more. It can extend anywhere, no need to rely on extension points. It supports SAP Fiori elements as well as the SAP UI5 Freestyle, and it has more options and offers multiple layers. In case you already have extension projects, consider to migrate them using our migration guides. Something new, clearly adaptation project. And there are some cases where you cannot migrate. For this, we also plan and enable you an extension pane in Business Application Studio, and this will be available around Q1 2023. We have seen a lot of cool and major improvements of UI5. We have seen easy UI5 generators, we have seen TypeScript, the flexible programming model, and also the adaptation projects. It's now your turn. Start using all this to make all the end users in your companies happy. For further information, look at the community, look into our demo kit, or just ask a question in Stack Overflow. This also is going to work. For further learning and networking, please consider the information here. And also here, we have collected the related TechEd sessions in the application development area. And with that, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot to my co-presenters, and enjoy the remaining TechEd.